And he was like, Facebook is terrible for selling lobsters online. And I said, why is that? He said, I spent 12 grand. I only made one sale. I spent $4,000. I got 12,000 clicks. I only made one sale. I lost my shirt. You don't always see an ad and then spend $200 on live lobster immediately. And that journey led me to helping him find out that, he actually made a lot of money on Facebook. It just wasn't showing up in the ad manager. And it led me to eventually found Wicked Reports because there's many people like Mark that needed the help. I was having fun doing it. And now here we are 10,000 plus hours later. I know a few things about marketing attribution now.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of our podcast. We call it the Spotlight Sessions, where we bring in experts from all around the HighLevel ecosystem and share some of the cool things that they're doing and also kind of give you some insights to how sales could be done. Scott, thanks for jumping in. We've heard great things about you. If you don't mind, do a quick intro of how you got started.
Great. I'm Scott Desgrosseilliers, founder and CEO of Wicked Reports. We provide marketing attribution specifically focused on digital agencies. And so I got started because a small business e-com store that I knew the owner personally since I was 8 years old. And he was like, Facebook is terrible for selling lobsters online. And I said, why is that? He said, I spent 12 grand. I only made one sale. I spent $4,000. I got 12,000 clicks. I only made one sale. I lost my shirt. I said, maybe some of them ended up buying later on. You don't always see an ad and then spend $200 on live lobster immediately. You got to plan, you got to talk to whoever you're living with, all kinds of stuff goes on. And that journey led me to helping him find out that, he actually made a lot of money on Facebook. It just wasn't showing up in the ad manager. And it led me to eventually found Wicked Reports because there's many people like Mark that needed the help. I was having fun doing it. And now here we are 10,000 plus hours later. I know a few things about marketing attribution now.
So the good thing is, if you're a high-level agency watching this episode, we're going to break down really a great lesson and a class around tracking your attribution, especially when it comes to paid ads. And if you're not familiar with Wicked Reports, I recommend you going to their website, taking a look at some of the things they do. And I know they have a demo and things like that as well. So Scott, if you want to share, can you give us a quick rundown of how Wicked Reports work? Maybe if you want to share your screen, feel free to do so. And really 3 things that I want to make sure we talk about is 1, the difficulty in tracking correctly. 2nd, I know you guys built the GHL integration and how that works. And then also we want to talk about how to map out the customer journey for the future. So without any further ado, Scott, if you want to share your screen, give us a rundown of some of the cool things that you've built with Wicked Reports.
Sure. And so we're excited to build the integration with Go HighLevel. And how Wicked Reports works is it's based on pulling in first-party data, which is provable real people that either have opted into a list or booked a call or done something that led them to end up in the CRM, meaning Go HighLevel, and then eventually or right away pay money through Stripe, through Shopify, through WooCommerce. We got dozens of integrations, zapped in revenue. But what we do, our whole foundation is it's transparent, provable marketing attribution, where we can prove out the Go HighLevel ID of the person we're claiming that an ad or an email or some sort of marketing generated. And then any future revenue, we can show you the actual IDs of those sales. And so that's how we know our data is accurate, because it's based on just the real data that happened. It's our whole premise. And awesome. Then what's been kind of fun, and where for me, particularly doing this for a long time, is that's really where the work begins, is can you get good data? Then can you track and make sense of it? Then can you give people proof with the data of what they need to do? But then are they actually going to understand and do it? And all those have their own unique hurdles. And the ad platforms, Google Analytics 4, they all muddy the picture because they have their own interests, which are usually spend more money with them. And sometimes that is the case. but then they're limited in the ways that they track because they're a third party versus we're a first party. So even though we're obviously much smaller than an ad platform, we have things in our favor because we're doing things in a different, more legally privacy compliant way, which allows us to give you more actual insights into what to do.
Awesome. So give us a walkthrough of how this all works.
Sure. So how this all works, it's pretty intense. And so there's a lot going on here. I won't talk about every little bubble, but we're pulling in from the ad platforms the dollars spent at the ad level. And then we're tracking via a number of different ways, one being UTMs is popular, but it doesn't have to be, all these other sources of traffic. So we're always, and then we are tracking incoming traffic and saying, why did it get here? That's the start of it. We got to figure out, well, why did someone show up? Then we have all these technologies to make it easy to figure out where did it turn into anything interesting for you as a business? Because there's tons of touch points, there's tons of interactions. Some are more important than others. And while we can see electronically a lot of them, our job is to try to make it actionable with the least amount of hopeful effort and time on your part. Although sometimes there's more effort than others, it depends. So we pull in from the ad platforms all these things, but then our technology is tracking that and then mapping it to all your first party data. In this case over here, CRM being Go HighLevel, let's say card is Stripe. Could be, you know, about 100 other things integrate with us. But so that's coming in. And then we have all this code to figure out as it comes in. We create these sort of user timelines of what they clicked on, what they bought, what they've done in the CRM. And then we sort that out. And then when you go to look at the data, there's all these different things you might be trying to know. And where, based on what your goals are as a particular agency helping a particular customer, we're going to guide you differently in the data. It's not a one size fits all. It's done for you reporting, but it's very customizable based on what you're trying to do. And then we'll further push that data automatically into Facebook and Google if you'd like to help optimize there as well. It's kind of like the whole 10,000 foot view of everything we do.
Yeah, this makes sense. So like when we're showing agencies how Wicked Reports, you know, is essentially used as a value add to them, we do know first thing is the difficulty in tracking correctly. So this is kind of the map overview of how things are tracked correctly. Now, how does it affect their sales, right? Like what is that relationship like usually with the agency customer? In what ways can the agency kind of take advantage of something like Wicked Reports and build that relationship properly?
Well, we're going to be able to save the agency a lot of time and manpower or woman power, and we're going to help them retain the client, because our core things we're trying to do, the digital agencies, right? They have clients are, you know, the lifeblood of the agency. And there's a lot of more fretting on the, you know, it's not like the glory days of the big boom that was happening. Clients are skittish now. They could hop from agency to agency despite best efforts or against better judgment. So you have the client perspective of retaining them, improving your value, or winning the new ones. So we help them with advanced analytics that can wow the client in terms of past successes, provable return on ad spend, or help back up strategies, particularly at top of the funnel. You're an agency, you want to spend, you need to find more fresh eyeballs or new people to eventually convert for your clients. But the ad campaigns that are at the bottom of the funnel when people are already warmed up and ready to go show a lot more return on ad spend generally. And so you have to have a way to stitch that together just to communicate to your clients or get them on board with strategies that are going to support that ad spend that doesn't look immediately profitable, but ultimately is what's driving the engine. So we can help support that.
Yeah, and it's one thing to theoretically say, hey, we're doing good. It's another thing to be able to show with data how good we're doing from a client relationship standpoint. So this is fantastic. So Scott, help us understand the second component, which is the actual integration itself, the GHL integration. How did that come about? Where did this get started? What does that actually do, like exactly for the agency?
Sure. And we have this link here. I'll put into the chat, and we can have included in the, you know, when we hit send this all out.
Mhm.
But what happened was we kept hearing about Go High Level. And do you guys prefer HighLevel or Go High Level, by the way? I know the website's Go
HighLevel.
High Level, but is it just High
HighLevel.
Level? Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Sure. And so what we did, we got to take that out. We're out of closed beta now. Is with a 1-minute integration where you go in and you find your API key and you paste it in. We're going to pull pull all the contacts for that particular business profile or a particular client, and then each morning we're going to continue to pull the new client, the new leads that were generated. And when we do that, what's going to happen is we're going to then be able to properly attribute them across the customer journey. Because when you're running ads, it's harder to convert cold traffic than warm. And we use their appearance and Go High Level to let us know they've crossed over this theoretical bridge, if you will, from I don't know anything about your brand or cold traffic, top of the funnel, whatever jargon you prefer, to now they're warm or middle of the funnel because now they're in Go High Level, they can get marketed to, or they're in a deal, or they're in a pipeline where a salesperson going to reach it, depending on your business model, but they're now known to you. And that's a big conversion point that the ad platforms usually ignore or underweight or underreport. And Wicked Reports has a massive focus on, because one, it's hard to do, but two, it's what drives the engine of future revenue, is getting new people to care about your stuff. But when they don't buy right away for whatever business model reason, or maybe they're just busy, or shopping, all the different consideration things that go on when you're going to buy. And so by pulling this all in this way, we're able to do a couple things. One is we're able to automatically detect when some advertising generates new leads. We can automatically do that. There's nothing else to do, because we'll cross-reference all the data every day to find out, hey, did these ads create new leads, which is a thing a lot of business owners care about. And so that will give you that. And then it will give you all the other benefits going forward of when you run ads and you create a new lead that shows up in High Level, if they eventually buy, ideally, of course, right away, but things take time, we'll continually incrementally update the return on ad spend and prove your value of those leads if they close on another channel, such as email, SMS, or just organically. So particularly as a paid digital agency, there's a lot of delayed but higher return on ad spend will show due to this particular lifetime value tracking.
Got it. Now the third thing that I want to actually understand is the client journey, right? So I know you touched on it quite a bit here, but what is an ideal client journey from your standpoint, from really just a paid ad standpoint? Let's start there.
So for a client, we ideally like them to be spending 10 grand a month, or at least 5 grand a month on ads. So it's not for the local advertiser spending a few $100s a month, because it's just not usually enough data. And or if they're that small of an ad spend, they're likely doing some offline, some sort of sales aren't as smooth, or it's not as much volume online. That makes it worth the effort of the integration. Now,
Gotcha.
we have a lot of easy integrations. We have a lot of people that do offline, doctor offices, lawyers, things like that do heavy caseload, or like a lot of, there's some Botox offices that use us and things, but they have so much volume, or the sales are so high, the revenue is so high, and the ad spend, it's worth importing the sales. So we don't want to, I don't want to mislead. If someone has, like a local dry cleaner or, florist or something, that's great that you're helping them, but it's not a good fit for us, because the challenge is to get quality data for us to help you with is high for the how much you're going to be spending.
Fantastic. In what other ways do Wicked Reports help agencies?
So here's 3 examples. I want to show you actually a couple slides to help with that.
Okay.
And it's proving more revenue value and why.
Okay.
So there's just 4 slides here that'll help explain that. So this
Good.
first one, let me slide this one over a little. So here's an actual Google Analytics for this. This is his Wicked Reports summary funnel vision. Here's his actual Google Analytics at the time. A very good sized e-commerce brand here. So if they come in here, let me move this guy out of the way. You see 500 grand in his Google Analytics. And this was back for May. And if you look in here and you're the paid, let's say you're the Facebook, you're running as Facebook, you don't see Facebook in the top 9. And you don't see any, you see a big chunk of direct. And whenever you see direct, unless it's a big household brand, you don't just go to a website, right? 123,000 of this people, according to Google Analytics, just woke up and typed in getmainelobster.com. That's who we're talking about. And the only way they do that is because some marketing in the past made them aware to go do that, or the tracking got lost. And then, or they sent a great email, 121,000 an email. That's fantastic, right? But why were they getting the email? Something made them get on the list to begin with. Maybe it was a prior purchase. Maybe it was some great marketing. But right here, $250,000 of credit you're not getting as a Facebook advertiser, but I know this guy spends a lot of money on Facebook, and yet you don't see it anywhere.
Wow. Yeah.
Now, if you click on other, this 155, this is the other down here. And you'll see the top one is attentive. So that's SMS. So that's a free marketing tip. You know, I'm good at data. I'm not good at marketing though. I just know how to track it well. $93,000 in SMS. So anyone not implementing SMS out there, you just leaving money on the table. People buy off text. And this is a $100 plus product. They click and buy right on their phones. 93,000. And then you see Facebook here with 18. So that's not a terrible amount of money, 18,000. However, he spent $28,000 in this time frame. So if I'm the Facebook manager, if I'm responsible for Facebook, he goes into Google Analytics 4, which everyone's now going into because now they got forced to move to it. And they say, hey, Google Analytics says I'm losing $10,000 a month before product costs. You're at risk as the agency. If this is what his source of truth is going to be, you've lost $10,000 and you're scrambling to deal with that with this particular client. So that is a prime thing we help with, excuse me, is that Google Analytics 4 is just not built for a detailed customer journey, particularly on a higher ticket item or one with more consideration. Or in this case, you know, he's doing a ton of volume. It's tracking a ton of sales and it's saying, hey, Facebook is only worth 18. Now, on the flip side, here's our funnel vision data. I'll probably make a little bit better looking slide here. With this one, we're seeing, and I'll go show you his live data here, but 260,000 Wicked reports tracked in the same time period attributable to Facebook. It's literally 11 times more. Now, that doesn't mean you sign up Wicked reports and day one, we're going to show 11 times more than Facebook. We may even show less than at first, but over time, we generally always show more in give or take 90 days. And that doesn't always even mean you should still do, you may need to optimize or do more. It doesn't mean that your marketing is perfect in Facebook, but just the way we're built to track, as we discussed earlier, just captures more Facebook revenue than how Facebook does it. So that alone is worth doing.
Yeah. And can you talk a little bit about your price points of how agencies can get started with you? Is it a subscription plan? Like how does somebody sign up for Wicked Reports?
It's a subscription plan. And with agencies, what we offer is discounts once there's 3 clients on. We start at $500 a month, and it's based on the number of people tracked in the CRM. So you could have a ton of traffic. You can have unlimited users, unlimited ad spend, unlimited everything. And it's just up to 50,000 people tracked in the CRM is $500. And then it goes up $20 every 10,000 people. So it's kind of scales up based on the people tracked.
And mostly this works perfectly with high levelers anyway, because you have an integration with HighLevel.
We have an integration with HighLevel, and we have integration with dozens of revenue sources, or you could zap in the money or HTTP posted in API or CSV in the revenue if you have Go HighLevel and not one of the integrations listed on our website for revenue.
Got it. Awesome.
A lot of ways.
What else? Did you have more you want to share on the slides there?
Well, 2 more here. There's 2 more slides. One's Facebook Ad Manager versus Wicked. This was, again, the same time period. We have 5 times, almost 6 times more sales we showed. Facebook only showed 12 sales in a given time period on one day, and we showed 69 sales.
Wow.
And then you go, and then our difference on our proof. So here's the 40 sales. You can click, you can actually see who they are. So this is always impresses an agency potential client. You'll say, well, reason why we are going to be able to optimize better is we don't just know the sales, but we know who they are, were they one time or repeating, and we can show you the detailed journey of your highest value customers. We can literally show you click by click. So you will know for sure what revenue we drove, because we will prove it with the actual data. So here's one campaign. You click on the sales, it shows who they are, and it would show if I clicked on the leads, it would show the Go High Level leads. Then you could click on those and see what they've done. So what they clicked on to get into Go High Level, and then what they clicked on to buy, which may or may not be the same thing.
Yeah, very, very impressive. So what else should an agency know about Wicked Reports that I might not be thinking about in how the use case scenarios go, like especially with bigger agencies that serve company, especially e-com brands?
So two things. One is, this is our funnel vision report. This is his Facebook in the past 30 days. Same client we were showing earlier with all this data. 300K, 59% of that, top of the funnel. Now, top of the funnel would mean for the high levelers, if you have your high level integration, and he was using high level, he happens to be e-com using something different. That would mean 59% of the Facebook generated revenue in the past 30 days originated from clicks that happened before they were in high level. And we tracked that it made them then get into high level and eventually buy from, in this case, he uses Shopify, but it could be, all the other sources. So if nothing else, the need to track the top of the funnel somehow is very important, because the ad platforms are becoming more black box, less transparent, and less, frankly, good at telling you that top of the funnel ad spend, and where it's a humongous amount of revenue that you're not aware that an ad channel is driving, but then you're not optimizing with the best data, and your client isn't knowing how much data you're actually generating. Because every time you would send a Go High Level email, if it closes someone and they were originated from Facebook for some reason on their traffic, or one of the clicks in there meant it was in this attribution report, we would increment this automatically as we see the revenue come in from the orders. So all this maps for you automatically. And this is a universal thing where there's a big chunk of revenue that's at the top of the funnel. And unless you're selling something super cheap that, like a toothbrush where you just click and buy right away, there's usually some consideration. And all the sales that are greater than a week are missed by Facebook, on top of all the things they missed due to all the other challenges they have with tracking.
Very cool, Scott. So, and how long have you used HighLevel yourself? Like, how many agencies do you work with currently in the space?
We have 250 agencies working with us, and we've had original pioneer users that were so gung-ho to use this that they helped us co-integrate, and they helped validate the data that it worked for them based on their specific integration. And then we decided, let's just build it right in and make it there was a real nice complement of target market, because we are now, our main focus is digital agencies, that it made sense to build it out and, come on here and, start partnering more closely with your community, because serving the same people.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think data tracking is one of the biggest things that small business owners, any, e-com businesses, any online businesses really don't have a way to do. Some of them are advanced enough to maybe even automate the business, but when it comes to tracking data, it's way above their heads. It's way too complex. And plus, none of these platforms make it easy. So it's important to have a partnership with someone that you can trust. And it seems like Wicked Reports has a great solution for you. What's the website where people can sign up for a trial or check it out or even see a demo? Is there
Yep. So there's an instant demo. You go to wickedreports.com, and then you can come in here and click watch a demo.
Awesome.
And you could watch, and it has chapters, so you can just jump to the whatever points of interest you have. And or from there, you could actually we have a team, you can get on live Zooms, and they can customize the demo just based on what you need to know about, rather than just
Awesome.
watch a recorded one. You could get on, someone could just say, what are your goals? What are you trying to do? And then they'll help you see how it can help you.
Okay, so on this conversation today, we talked about how agencies can leverage something like Wicked Reports to show value to their clients. The three big the topics that we really shared is, one, how difficult it is to really track properly, and Scott demonstrated how there's so many discrepancies from platform data versus what Wicked Report shows. And second is the fundamental basis of how the integration's created and the story behind it. And then third was the customer journey and how it should be mapped out. Scott, any last words before we kind of close out the podcast that people should hear from you? Feel free.
One last thing. So like we have all these cool reports. We have all kinds of them. We have all this data, like all these columns of data, which all tell you amazing things. And we're very proud of all the insights you can get. However, and then not only is there all this, but there's trends. You can drill down by the different ad sets, by the different ads. And then there's Google. There's a lot of data. Like you have to be someone who likes data generally to want to use it. But what I'm most excited about that's coming out, and we're currently in alpha with clients behind the scenes with, is we're going to automatically tell you, this is a recommendation report. This is a live one. We're going to automatically generate this detailed analysis of all this stuff in here. We're going to automatically generate it for you to tell you what you should do based on your custom rules, media buying strategy, client business model. It's going to be revolutionary because we have all the data, but right now, like there is time, right? You got to learn it. You have to spend time looking at it. It makes you think. Maybe you're not in the mood to think. It's 3 o'clock. You know, you got a client just emailed you. You got to go deal with them. So you have time to optimize your stuff. So we're actually going to tell you what to do based on your targets you've told us. And so all this is stuff that normally would have been a lot of analysis. Looks like for Cheech and Chong, you know, we actually do work with one of the Chongs. I don't know if that's what this, I don't even know what one's from, but all this detail. And then furthermore, then you get all this and you make all these changes and you're all pumped up, like turning a campaign back on that's now all of a sudden has more revenue. Why is that? Well, it's because you turned off the campaign. There's a bunch of email and now this top of the funnel thing just made an extra almost $5,000. Turn it back on. And then customer journey analysis, which you can share with your clients. This connects what got people into your funnel versus what closed them and what was the primary way they closed. And that's been a thing where we've always been able to report on, but never as clear as this AI is allowing us to do now. For example, this case, this Facebook campaign, whatever this means, drove all this revenue as the initial point of contact. What bought, what closed them? Attentive. So Facebook plus SMS. This is a Google one. What closed them? Google plus SMS. And this one was one Facebook with another Facebook. So all this deep analysis is now becoming, it's going to be on-demand analysis is where we're going late another month, or, you know, maybe it might bleed into October, but it's going to come in here. And as long as your data is accurate, which we have a whole suite of tools to do that, we're going to take all that heavy lifting off your plate of the client reporting and the optimization. It's going to become just customized based on what you need and on demand. So you save all that time. And then you don't lose all that data in there. Like somewhere in this data is a way to make more money. And rather than, you know, while I love it and want people to go in and use it and mine it to themselves, they may not care to do that. They just want to get the answers. So the AI is going to do it for them, which is fantastic.
Awesome, Scott. So I appreciate you jumping in on this podcast and just kind of sharing the story behind Wicked Reports. And those of you that want to just jump on a quick demo, go to wickedreports.com and looks like you can watch some demo there. And Scott, we'll be in touch with you. I'm not sure if you're coming to our October conference. If you're not, make sure you come, and it's in Dallas, and we have almost 1,000 high levelers that jump in, and we have a big conference. And you know, it's perfect for those that want to have like a workshop style setting, and it's great for those that just want to have a big party and network. It works for both. So either way, just want to make sure I invite you as well. But anyways, have a good rest of your day, everyone, and looking forward to doing another podcast here soon. Take care.